guys, and welcome back to another episode of Honey's World with me, Honey Love, and this is for my, agony aunt playlist. The dilemma. Okay, so another dilemma for you guys. If you are a newcomer on this channel, please make sure you like, subscribe, turn your notification button on so that you get all videos as we drop them. And yeah, let's go, guys. I'm getting used to these dilemmas now. Here we go. Hi, honey. My dilemma starts 7 years ago. I started talking to this Adan guy. For my non-Somali followers, Adan guy means I started talking to the white guy. Okay? I started talking to the Adan guy from interstate, the white guy, and we started off as friends. He was interested in Islam and I was helping him learn the deen. I would tell him about lectures and to go to visit mosques. Throughout the time, feelings started to develop. And mind you, we just exchanged photos and we never saw each other face to face. He said he wanted to come down and see me, but I said until he converted to Islam, I wasn't even going to entertain the idea and there was no point in us seeing each other. Mind you, when he hears anything bad about Islam, he messages me saying, I thought Islam was peaceful. I started talking to other guys as well as talking to him, and I told him this, and I told him this. He said he'll become Muslim so that we can get married. I said, hell no. I knew this relationship wouldn't last if he converted for this reason only. 4 years ago, I met my now husband and I told the white guy. I told him we can no longer call each other, and if he ever needed me, email me. I gave him my email address. My husband is another dilemma, okay, on its own. Let me tell you something. I'm an educated woman who has a degree, a job, so I'm not a gold digger, but my husband earns 6 figures. Growing up, I always said I'll never marry a man that was obese, and that's the man I married. Karma. The Adan guy is a fit guy who is into health and would send me pics of him working out and his body, and sometimes I would just stare at my husband and say, why can't you lose the weight? Oh Lord. Other than him being obese, he's a good man and he treats me right. So you got a good guy. We've been married for 4 years this June and no kids, but throughout our marriage I still have been emailing the Adan guy. Okay, she's still emailing the Adan guy. The intimacy in our marriage has reduced. We are intimate maybe once a month. When I feel down, I go back to talking to Adan. I keep going back and talking to the Adan friend. My husband is too interested in playing video games and hanging out with his mates and doing shisha in his spare time. He wants to start trying for a baby. First year of our marriage, our sex life was so good and he could go on for hours. But as the years went by, he literally goes 1 round, 2 rounds if I'm lucky, and he doesn't even last 2 minutes. This is when my fantasy about the Adan guy comes in. Before I started talking to my husband, me and the Adan guy would have phone sex. He would send me even pics of his manhood. Okay, just to clarify that I might be a bit flirtatious. There might be a bit of a flirtatious behavior, but I haven't crossed no lines with the Adan guy since I've been married. He keeps asking for voice calls and I'm standing my ground and saying no. This is a long one and I don't know what I expect to get out of it. I haven't told this to anyone. So what is it that you want me to advise you, sis? I don't get it. First and foremost, big mistake. okay, actually, it's your feelings, because technically you're saying you're only thinking about this guy. You haven't done anything, you know, you haven't done no phone sex and all of that with that Adan guy. So basically you're having fantasies and, you know, feelings and imagining, because you're just not attracted to your husband anymore, darling. So what can I say? Two things. If I was in your shoe and if you're not finding your husband attractive, why don't you, boy, I don't know what to say. I don't know the type of person you are. Like, say, me, okay, if I was in your shoe, you're saying your husband's a great guy, the sex was good once upon a time, and you just find him, you know, obese, you wish he went to the gym. Why don't you support your husband in going to the gym, getting fit together, maybe doing like gym sessions together, you know, spicing it up a bit? Why don't you speak to him and tell him what you like sexually, what you don't like, you know, so that you stop having these fantasies over these Adan guy? Because you're saying, you know, your husband's really nice, he treats you good. You did say, you know, it's not like you're sitting there saying the sex was never good. You said your sex life was good for the first year. So it's just finding that spark again. Go pray or salat to call, so that you don't, you know, think about this other guy and your fantasies with him, and maybe have those fantasies with your husband. Like, seriously, get freaky with it, you know, go lingerie shopping, maybe do some role play, you know, spice up your sex life. If you said he just about goes 2 rounds, what do you do? Like, okay, if he doesn't go 2 rounds, if he only does 2 rounds and that's it, do you do anything to, you know, try and get him the urge to maybe go for 3 rounds? You said he lasts for 2 minutes. Okay, that's a bit of a difficult one. Maybe he needs to see a doctor. If it's only like 2 minutes, I don't understand. Or, you know, go and there's other stuff out there that, you know, toys and other stuff, you know, couples you can use together to make sure you're satisfied till you are, you know, fully orgasmed, you know, till, you know, you know what I mean, girl. I don't need to go into details in here for you guys, okay? But yeah, maybe he can use those kind of stuff to make sure you're satisfied, you know, so that you're not sitting there thinking, bloody hell, like, did he just bust a nut and I'm just sitting here and, you know, I'm not satisfied. But honestly, I'm not going to sit here and say, you know what, leave your husband. Even though if he's not satisfying you, you can go to the sheikh and say, my husband's not satisfying me, and that's grounds for divorce. But is it worth it? Is this you thinking about this Adan guy? Do you still have feelings for this Adan guy? Because, you know, he was your past, etc. Maybe you need to sit down. Maybe, Sahib, maybe you're the problem. Maybe it's you the problem. Maybe you're not happy. Like, literally. And it is, ladies, it is okay for you not to be happy in your marriage. It's okay for you to say, you know what? I don't think you are going to make me happy in every way. Like, let's not use that Adan guy, the white guy, as an excuse. Your sexual maybe you're just not, you're not into him anymore and you want to move on and, you know, you want to find another man or live your life or whatever. And this is just the excuse. So what you need to do is you need to sit down with yourself and ask yourself what you want. Because let me tell you something, yeah? Forget you. It's unfair of this, you know, your husband, who seems like a nice guy, who's doing what he needs to do in handling his business. Like, it's sad that, you know, you're acting like, you know, everything's perfect and, you know, you're there, and maybe he deserves another wife that would truly love him and like his 2 minutes, and, you know, she's happy with how he is. Maybe you need to be with, you know, that Adan guy, 6-pack, sports, athletic. Maybe you have a lot more in common, you know. So this is about you. And seriously, you need to decide what you want before you have kids involved. Like you stated, your husband is already wanting to try out for kids. He wants, you know, babies. Do not bring a child into this equation if things are still how they are. Because let me tell you something, yeah, when a child is involved, it's gonna get a lot worse. Because if you guys are having sex once a month and there is no kids involved, trust me, when there's kids involved, sex where? Sex what? Excuse me, sex. Now, as mentioned, there is no such thing as sex on a regular when there's kids involved, okay? So, think hard and long on what you want and decide ASAP before a child is involved. If you want to work on your marriage and see everything's going, go and get some contraception or whatever you need to do and work on your marriage. Make sure your marriage is perfect. Work on your husband, and then talk about kids and etc. afterwards. But if you're still having fantasies of that damn guy, you're not happy with how your husband is or how he makes you feel sexually, do not bring a child into the equation. No, do not do it, okay? And what else did you say? Yeah, literally, it's a physical attraction thing. And yes, it's okay to, want to be physically attracted to your husband, because who wants to be with somebody they're not physically attracted to? But yeah, either mold him, take him to the gym, let him lose some weight, get him a six pack, do all that with him, and then enjoy your husband, or sit there and, girl, leave. It's up to you. But I feel sorry for the poor husband. I don't feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for him, because he thinks, his wife is happy and he clearly doesn't know what's going on with you. Well, talk to him, sit him down and tell him how you feel. Tell him you want him to. Tell him how you feel. Tell him how to lose, tell him, that you want him to lose weight and work with him, go to the gym with him, and leave the poor guy alone. If you're not happy with him, if he's not satisfying you, you need to decide on where your head's at, what you want in life, who you want to be with, and what type of relationship you want. And if he doesn't fully make you happy 100%, then girl, you need to make the decision of keeping it and moving, and let him find the perfect woman who wants him for him, whether he's obese, whether he's not, she loves him as how he is. And anyway, that's the end of that dilemma. You guys, make sure you like, subscribe, comment below. If you want to send me dilemmas, the email is on the description bit, so use that email to send me your dilemmas, or you can send it to me on the Snapchat or the Instagram. It's _honeylove, and I will see you guys soon. Take care.